Hi, everybody. This is Carrie Mubarak at wooingnature.life. I hope you are well. This is the October reading for Aries. So I will be reading today from Colette Baron Reid's The Enchanted Map. I'll be pulling 3 cards from that deck, and then I will supplement with the King Solomon deck. And then I will pull out the tarot and see if we have any additional information to share. So this reading, again, is for Aries, people with sun sign Aries, or people with heavy Aries in your chart. This can apply to you, especially if you know your chart well and you know that you have a lot of Aries. You might be another sign, but you're heavy on the Aries side. You can read this reading. You can watch this reading, rather, for Aries as well. All right, so let's see what Colette Baron Reid has for us today. I'm doing that again. That didn't feel right. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to do a third one. I don't know. OCD. What can I say? All right. Let's see, Aries. Let's see what's going on. We've got some movement going on for you in October, as well as the spirit of space and a sad embrace. So depending on where you are right now, some of those might already be resonating with you, maybe so, maybe not, but we'll get into it in just a second. So I always start at the center. Center is the core, and this information is saying that it is some movement. There is some movement happening in your life. There are things that are changing. There could be some changes. It could be an actual move. So if you all are thinking about making a move, October would be a good time to do that. If you are not making a physical move, then you have to think about movement in general. Movement can be from one place to another. It can also be from one job to another. It could be moving your location in your house. It could also be changing things in your mind, or moving from one set of thought processes into another set of thought processes. So please extend your perception, or extend your range of thought around what movement is. What's really interesting about this card is that it depicts an ostrich. An ostrich is sort of an animal that you don't really equate with movement. We have a tendency to think of, faster animals or stronger animals. Not to say that the ostrich isn't strong, but the ostrich is basically a ground bird. It does not fly, but it does stay close to the ground. So we're thinking about grounding. The other thing that the ostrich is known to do is hide its head in the sand. So you don't want to be hiding your head in the sand if a movement needs to happen and you're not making it. All right. So if you are aware that some move needs to be made, but you've been dragging your feet, or you don't want to deal with it, now is the time to deal with that. Okay. Make sure you get that taken care of. I'm seeing that the move is definitely from a situation that may have not been positive into more fertile ground. So whatever moves you're making, Aries, during the month of October are going to be good moves for you. Even if it seems like it's a little precarious, you just got to step out on faith some, and let things materialize from there. The other thing I'm paying attention to is like this grassy area on its back, and then the grassy area that, kind of let me know that there was more fertile ground to look at. I think it's, to me, that means that you want to remember that whatever it is you're trying to go to, that is a part of who you are, right? So if the move that you're making, or let me say, when you understand the move that you're making or that you have to make as being a vital part of your process and a vital part of you reaching your own personal goals, or also you becoming more fruitful, or you becoming more in tune with yourself, with your whole self, with your core being, the essence of who you are, then it makes the move simpler. Like sometimes we're trying to make a shift and we don't really know why we're making it. So then we just go somewhere and just do something. This move is more or less a concerted effort, or something that's conscious that you need to be conscious about, okay? By conscious, I mean fully aware of your purpose, fully aware of what it is that where it is that you need to go, and why you need to make that move. Because you just don't want to be, shifting around and then end up in a situation where you have to shift again. So be clear about the move that you're making. Be clear about the purpose of the move, and also understand that whatever moves you make are ultimately there to support your inner sanctum, to support your journey, to support what it is that you have to do in this lifetime. Okay, so much bigger picture here. All right, so to the left of you, we have the spirit of place. And when I say to the left, it's just positioning. On one side of you, you have this. On the other side, you have that. And for those people who are familiar with left and right, feminine and masculine, all of that, you can apply that as need be. But we're talking about the spirit of place. And I think that makes so much sense because you're talking about movement. Again, knowing and understanding why you are moving, knowing what the purpose is, and knowing what that place that you're going to and the place that you're leaving from, what has it taught you, right? And then where are you going next, and what do you anticipate it adding to your life? How do you anticipate that will add to your life and to your perspective? Okay, so it's not just a place. It's not just any place. I'm not getting that at all for you, Aries. This is a really important move for you all, and you have to really have a sense of what that space means, because space has spirit too. Space has energy too. Everything has energy. You have energy. Every object on the earth contains energy or is made up of energy. And so the place that you're leaving has energy or had energy for you. If you think back to when you first made your move, or when you when you got to the place where you are now. And this is like, whether it's like the house itself that you're living in, or the apartment, or wherever it is that you're living, but it can also be the city or the state or the country or whatever that you're living in. If the move that you're making is, from state to state, or from one city to another, or whether you just move in to your house. But again, the space that you're in right now called you to it for a reason, right? And so the space that you're going to is also calling you. So you think about like what you've learned and what you've gained since the time that you were in that space, whether it's about the space or not, just the time period. And then also look at where you're going. If you already know what direction you're headed in, or if you already have a sense of what city or state or what country you're going to, think about what you anticipate learning from that, or just think about why you're making that move. Okay? Because the spirit of the place is calling you, Aries. The place is calling you to it. And so you just want to be aware of that. The other thing, or the next thing to the right of you, is about the sad embrace. And I think that I really like this card, even though it's about sadness. It could be about grief. Some of you may be going through a difficult time, and you need the support, or you need an embrace. Sometimes you may feel like you're all alone, that you're not able to reach out to other people. It is important to embrace yourself during times when you're dealing with grief, but it's also important to reach out as well. So if you find yourself in this situation a lot, then I would definitely say to reach out to others, whether it be your psychologist or your therapist, or whether or not it's just a friend that knows you well, that doesn't mind you, unloading or what have you. Don't isolate yourself. But at the same time, I think this card really speaks to self-care as well. So if you are dealing with grief and dealing with some difficulty, then be fair to yourself, be gentle with yourself, but then also don't forget to reach out as well. Okay? All right, so moving right along, month of October, I am reaching into the King Solomon, just asking for some additional wisdom about the cards that we have pulled for Aries. Just additional wisdom. for the Aries people. All right, so we've got the number 7. This is card number 7, very spiritual number, and I will be reading directly from the text for these as is recommended for this particular oracle. There's some oracles you can just read the image, and then there's some that you really just need to kind of go by the book. And I'm going to say this is one of those. So we're looking for an additional message for this reading for Aries. We've got number 15. And then we'll get one more for the sad embrace. Oh, there it is. All right, so head into the book, number 7, the message card number 7. It talks about fertility, children, and family. All right, it talks about a fruitful collaboration, could be pregnancy or the expansion of a family. Talks about good family relationships, being in a family-oriented situation. That's in the movement card. So I don't know if you got if there are people out there who have families. If you're moving your family, or it could be that you're making a move because of family. Could be a family change or a family dynamic change. So the advice is to do good deeds for your family and for the children, and to give willingly, okay? So no matter what the move is, I don't know if somebody out there is moving because of a divorce or a separation. Again, I'm going to say that you just want to remember the family, remember what the family is to you and what they mean to you. Like, don't be petty, and don't, like, try to create a whole lot of drama if this is like a divorce move or a separation move. Just remember that your family is really important, and wherever you can remove the ego and stretch yourself into the possibility of being more giving in that situation, it will help. I know that's hard. Been there, done that, understand what it feels like and everything. But you got to remember that you and your partner bonded for a reason, and that was good at one point. And so if things aren't going well, if you have to separate, if you've grown apart, even if it's some real negative stuff behind it, just remember that the family unit needs you. And by needing you, it means, like, not the ego you, but you being your full, most mature self in the situation, and then you being the bigger person, Aries, and saying, I'm going to give here. I'm going to give more, instead of just, like, folding up your arms and saying, I don't want to be bothered. So it's a message about making a good move, but that move being more or less for the family, for those of you who are dealing with that. The other thing is taking consideration of the family. So for those of you who may be relocating for a job, to take into consideration your family. Sometimes when we're making a move like that, where we have to relocate, a lot of times it's about money and finances. Like, if it's a better job with more pay, and then I've got to make this move. Just remember that your family is a part of that move too. Yeah, yes, they are going to benefit from the changes if that's the case. But also remember that they're having to transition. They are having to make those major changes. Yeah, so you just want to remember that your family is very much a part of that move, and take them into consideration as you're shifting. If you're taking a job for yourself and for the money, and sometimes it's for the family as well, and you kind of think about, well, I'm doing this for you, but just remember that there's other things that the family is having to deal with in the move. And so giving and considering and asking, what will make this move more comfortable for you is really, really helpful. And it also shows your ability to give emotional support outside of what you're just doing for yourself. Okay? All right. So the next card number 15. Hope you guys can see that. It's a little blurry. Let's see. All right. All right, card number 15, again, generosity and giving. Giving generously, being kind-hearted, and the advice is to embrace what is given to you, be generous in return, and to be prepared to give more than is required in order to resolve a problem. And this is in the space where we're talking about the spirit of place. I'm really getting a feeling that some of this move may be about relocation or could be about divorce or separation. It just, with all of the cards about giving and being giving, and it's not just about giving things or objects, it's like giving of yourself, which to me reads as being mature, remembering that there are other people that are involved other than just you and what you're feeling and what you're needing. So take that into consideration as you are shifting and as you are making these new moves and going to this new location. Definitely about relocating. Now, I mean, going back to what I was saying before about movement, sometimes movement can be just a change of mind or a shift in mindset. If this is about family, if this is about, needing to give and needing to remember where they are and where you are and how you can be helpful to them, then please, by all means, I'm getting over and over again about giving and that kind of thing. So, I mean, I would say do that. All right. So the last card is responsibility, preparation, and taking calculated risk. It says take responsibility for your own success, examine all facets of the situation, take a risk only after calculating every possible outcome, and then behave responsibly and realistically. So I don't know, like after the first set of cards and the second set of cards, to me it just screams separation. It screams either separation, divorce, or just a breakup of some kind. I think because we've got the sad embrace and we got the movement and we're talking about the spirit of a place. And then looking at both of these cards being about being generous. I don't think it's about giving. It can be about giving, but I think it's not giving up. It's like being more open to the overall benefit of the shift. So if things were not going well in the family and this move is to make that better, then think about what will make it better. And then think about the fact that these things are going to be different. They are going to be better, even though it may have come out of a negative situation. Okay? So it's just, lining up everything, being fair, being objective. I think that's really the word I'm looking for. Being objective, not being defensive. When we're talking about giving, sometimes you have to give from inside, like you have to give up your ego or give up your ego so that a really positive change can happen inside yourself. Because if things were already sad, if you were already, dealing with this kind of energy, then whatever move you make is going to shift you from here anyway. So even if it isn't the greatest situation in the world, Aries, I mean, being mature and being responsible, for the moves that you're making and your actions and that kind of thing can help. It actually can help. All right. Sorry about that. All right, so I have for you the Justice card. Justice card is about balance. It's about also shoring yourself up. That goes back to this card, responsibility, shoring yourself up, getting all your ducks in a row before you make the move that you need to make. It is a precarious balance, but it is a part of the road that you're on, and it's a part of your journey, as you know. Sometimes we come to a fork in the road and we need to, make a decision and move on to something else. But it's always about following your truth. It's always about honoring your truth. and making the transitions that you need to make. Lots of butterflies in this card. So the transitions that you're making right now, you're going from one thing to you're going from something that may have been difficult into something better. And so though it's like ups and downs, like what I like about this card is it shows the wings of this angel or whatever, and it's like one wing is down and one wing is up, which kind of represents balance. But it also reminds me that it's good and bad. It's like ups and downs. You win some, you lose some. You got to know when to hold them, when to fold them, and this is a part of life. So if things are seeming unfair to you right now or difficult to you, then it is life. Ultimately is balanced. Life ultimately is fair. And just try to be in that space. It takes a lot of meditation, especially if you are, if it's a difficult move like this. It just takes time. It just takes time. It takes maturity. It takes meditation, knowing yourself, being clear about the decision that you're making, and knowing that that decision is really what's best for you ultimately. And sometimes you have to rely on that. Sometimes you have to ride on that. Sometimes that's all you got. You know what I mean? Temperance in reverse means there's some balance that is needed. I'm thinking that the balance that's needed is the move. Okay? In order to bring balance back to your life, the move is necessary for you right now. And again, that's if this is a a move for work, or if it's a move, away from the family. Even if the move for work, even if there's like family situations going on and in the midst of it, you also have to make this move and it's causing tension or whatever, the move is the move. The move you got to make, you have to make the move right now. Because it's going to be good for everybody in the end. Oh, wow. All right, so I've got the Death card. That's the third major arcana card I've pulled today. I've got the Death card, meaning endings, time for endings and new beginnings. And if you see, what I like about this Death card is it really is about reviving the self and resurrecting the self and rising from where you were into a higher place. It's not about like, I don't know. Some death cards is kind of scary. Okay. But this isn't. It's like about coming out, or, coming out. It's about coming out. You can translate that how you choose, but it's about coming out, bringing yourself out ultimately. All right, we got the Ten of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the Queen of Pentacles, all in a row here. All right, so this to me says some stability, but not just, it's not about the nuts and bolts. It's bringing stability not only to your emotional, but also to your physical life. Here with the with the Knight of Cups here, I'm seeing a lot of emotionability here. I see the Ten of Cups, which is also about, being satisfied emotionally. So a lot of emotions, but also some real basic practical stuff in here too. So again, this just kind of speaks to me about, the fact that this move is not only a physical move, but it's something emotional involved as well, which may be why we're receiving the spirit of place here. Okay. All right, let's see if there's any other messages. Any other messages for Aries? Get your rest. Take some time out for yourself. Don't find yourself being bogged down by this. It's a lot. Making a move is a lot. Even if it's a happy move, it's a lot. So definitely get your rest. Definitely spend time with yourself for that self-care. On the self-care tip, you have to be able to do that right now because it will wear you out. A move can wear you out, like I said, anyway. So if you feel like it's too much, then take a break. You don't have to like keep plodding forward. And the other thing is get some help if you need help. You need help to make the move. If you need to hire a mover, sometimes it's worth it for you to do that. And then I'm just getting the Four of Cups again, which is again just, like really being in your feelings. I'm getting a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions, a lot of, this is where I wanted to be. A lot of emotional upheaval I'm seeing in this card, and then some ruminating, which to me just kind of matches up with the sad embrace here. So definitely Aries, this may be a tough month. It may be a little bit tough, either just logistically for the move or emotionally because of the move. Take time to spend with yourself. Take time for yourself, resting, relaxing, meditating, praying, just so that you can have the proper energy that you need to to do what it is that you have to do. I feel like things are going to change for you after this move. I definitely feel like things are going to change for you after the move, but but take your time with it at the same time. If it's something that you got to do right away, then balance yourself as much as you can. Try to maintain good personal boundaries if you need to, but also don't forget to let go of the ego a little bit and stretch yourself, and that will make for good relations in the future. Okay? All right, Aries. I hope you all got something out of that reading today. Hopefully, it resonates with many of you. If it doesn't, or if you would like your own personal reading, you can reach out to me at Kerri, Kerri, at wooingnature.life. And then I'll also share with you, because this October reading is actually coming in at the end of September. But we have Scooter LaForge. Myself and Scooter LaForge will be creating paintings from my intuitive impressions on September 28th at Elsewhere. Elsewhere is an artist residence and museum set inside of a former thrift store. Great place, world renowned artist space. And if you are in the area, or if you're near Greensboro, Winston-Salem, High Point, anywhere in North Carolina, please do make an effort to come out and check out that event. I'm sure it's going to be great. As always, I hope you will have a great October, and I hope that you have a fabulous life.